last meeting of the season at Happy Valley on Wednesday night with the Australian Turf Club Cup, our feature race on an 8-race programme. The big one is race number 6. A very warm welcome to the show. I'm Andrew Lejeune, joined here in the studio by former analyst Paul Lally and racecaller Brett Davis as well. Brett, and 2 to go, Brett, but the meeting is still very strong right through to the last race.
It is, yes, Andrew. The Australian Turf Club Trophy, of course, the feature. It'll be a cracking race. I think there's, again, some very competitive races on the card overall. I think betting will be competitive as it normally is at the Valley. We've had a little bit of rain, a fair bit of it actually, on Tuesday, so what the weather does, that's in the lap of the gods, but it'll be a nice night. If you can find a winner, that's for sure. Certainly will be. That's what we're in search of, Paul. No jackpots, but there's going to be a big one coming up in a week or so's time. TT didn't go off on the weekend. Yeah, it didn't it? So they're really looking forward to that one coming up on the weekend. Yeah, as you say, there's nothing really to report here as far as jackpots or anything concerned. But some really even races. And you look, just looking at the first, for example, you got a $6.10 favourite in the first. So there's a couple of good even races and a couple of interesting horses that. Few usual suspects, a few Kaiser Sose's running around. Yeah, there's a lot of even races. No Kaiser Ferrazzi, though. No, he's been scratched in Appleton's the reason. So that'll be interesting, obviously, with his replacement too, because an interesting runner, which we'll look at in a moment. But C+3, so it's a very sharp turn into the home straight. They will break apart the field when they corner in, and it normally creates holes where horses from the back can get runs if they're good enough. All right, OK, we'll get into the meeting in a second or so. First, let's look back on the action from Sha Tin in our racing review. So the Hong Kong Reunification Cup was our feature race on the weekend, and, well, Tony Cruz, he wins the cup races, doesn't he? Did it again, and this was a really good ride from Neil Callan from a wide gate, got out in front, they couldn't get him. Yeah, he's just taken everything, hasn't he, in the last couple of months, Tony Cruz. Congratulations to him, he's had such a powerful finish to the season, and Neil Callan, great ride from the outside barrier. This horse never really gave them a look in at all, didn't he, down the stretch? There's some nice horses in this. We spoke about the potential form reference and the strength of it. Starshine got into third, Dragon General charged into second, but the winner was terrific. He won, of course, at Wyong before he came to Hong Kong, the same place that Abel Friend won. Picked up a little high achievement bonus there too, Paul, which will help the kitty. Yeah, exactly. No, look, it was a good ride, as you mentioned. He just was keen to lead, wasn't he? Sort of kept forward, kept pushing, but he didn't really exert the horse too much down the back before he got to the front. So I think that was the winning of the race. His third win, Andrew, and the other 2 wins have been impressive in their own right as well. Yep. So when he is given the luxury of the comfort zone, I guess, throughout his races, he's very hard to beat. Whether he can step it up to the highest level now and get to group company where he's going to be sort of, you know, in his uncomfortable zone more times than not and then produce as well, again, we'll have to wait, I guess, until next season to see. Yeah, he's a big horse with a lot of scope, and it was a double on the card for the California team. In actual fact, they took out the last race well. Yeah, that's right. And, Neil Callan, nice to see him with a feature win there. Certainly it was. Right, as far as the winners were concerned, the progressive horse in the shape of Cruising, he looked very smart indeed for Umberto Responsibly. Yeah, wanted to highlight him as well in our review, Andrew, because there were 2 races. Obviously, the Reunification Cup was the feature. The other was the Guangdong Hong Kong Cup. And Cruising, a horse who came from my old neck of the woods, South Australia, won a couple of races at Morphettville before heading to Hong Kong, and he certainly hasn't taken that long to acclimatise. Ran really well first up and then put this race to bed pretty quickly in the final stages. Yeah, he improved from start 1 to 2, didn't he? He got beaten nose by Alcari in a sort of a bobber, and then he's come out and done that. It looked like a match race on paper between him and Little Bird, and yeah, you'd have to say a little bit of a... I know he still ran third, clearly, but still slightly disappointing. Yeah. On that, actually, going back quickly to the other race, California Fortune, Mission Tycoon, the favourite, pulled up lame out of that. But, yeah, Cruising looks like he's got a decent future. And Umberto, 2 winners on the card as well for him. Yeah, he had a good day at the office, didn't he? And this guy's only a 3-year-old. He'll obviously turn 4 in the not-too-distant future in the off-season when the Southern Hemisphere bred horses have their birthday. But he's going to be a very interesting horse for... You know, possibly the 4-year-old series, maybe. I guess he's by Dainrich out of a Keltreese mare, so you'd think he might be able to stretch out to a little bit further. Whether he can go, you know, 18 2000s and a whole different sort of ball game, but he's heading in the right direction. Yeah, Benno Young had 2 winners as well. Tommy Berry had 2 winners. It was doubles all round, wasn't it? Here's the ratings changes with some big price winners, and you boys amongst those winners as well. Yeah, well, see, Cruising went up 9 points. It's probably deserved, actually, the way he won that. Elusive State finally put everything together and he went up 8.
And then you can see a few of the others there on 5s and California Fortune 6. But, yeah, Cruising's the big one out of that.
Yeah, he got the 9, didn't he? Elusive State was a big winner in the dirt. And Lucky Win, of course, you found him in the first, Andrew. He was one of the winners for Tommy Berry. He was able to sneak through on the all-weather. I think we've only got about 3 or 4 races on the all-weather to go.
Yep, all right. Well, we're looking forward to those. Looking forward to try and find some more winners as well with our horses to follow. Lots of first starters on the weekend, Paul, and some of them ran quite well.
Yeah, I really was taken with this horse called Super Giant here. He's no potato. He was called Spud over in the UK, this one, and he had 2 races at Chester before he got here. So, look, you'd think the tight course at Happy Valley wouldn't worry him at all, but the way he ran here at Charlton, he was $32 a place. So he wasn't fancied by any stretch of the imagination in the market. And I really like the way he finished this off, especially this last 50 metres was a
Just
good
peeled to the outside, did he, Paul?
And then came home nicely. So I thought it was a really good run on debut anyway.
Douglas White's had a good association with those colours and owners, and there'll be one on Wednesday night that he'll be riding too.
Certainly will. What do you find for us, Brett?
Shining On. This horse was back last and had a lot to do. Hasn't done very much at all since arriving from overseas, but this was the best effort I've seen from him. His last 400 was quicker than any horse in the race. His last 800 was quicker than any horse in the race, including, obviously, Victory Power there and also Honest Way. Sunshine Holiday ran well, and he got past the Patch horse as well in the final stages, the Star of Patch 2. So I've seen really nothing from him at all. Encouraging signs, I would have thought.
All right, that's Shining On. For me, it was a race with a stack of first starters. This is the cruising race. We've seen it already, but we'll highlight Good Beauty here. Vigor Fame runs well in the orange cap as well, actually a place in front of him. But Good Beauty got back last, and not that he was struggling, but he was still a long way back as they turned for home, and he's made up some good eye-catching ground here in the closing stage. He's unbeaten in 2 starts in Australia. His name was Charlotte when he raced there for Wendy Kelly, won 2 in Victoria. Stays on very strongly. Vigor Fame also good. California Gung Ho. Packing Miracles, a lot of money for him actually, wasn't there?
Yeah, through the all-ups. Yeah, there was a lot through the all-ups through him. And he was paying 6 a win, 6 a place at one stage. Yeah, so yeah, he'll come on for that run anyway, I think, but Packing Miracle.
All right, so there's a few races, a few horses we might take out of that race in the future. As far as the stewards report is concerned, Keith Young and Always Win got a couple of days plus 25 grand the final 2 days of the season, 11th and the 16th. And Ben So on Butte's Careless Riding as well. He starts his end of season holiday early also. Right, we can start looking ahead to the Wednesday night programme at Happy Valley with the scratchings first, and Golden Glory not going round in race number 4, replaced by Thou Shalt Sing. Vincent Ho in the saddle, and then the aforementioned Kazi Farazi won't be making his debut. He's replaced by Lucky Hero. Alberto Sanna will be in the saddle there. This is meeting number 85 of 88, and 8 races on the C+3 course. Kick things off with a 1,000-metre dash. This is for the Class 5. Showing character heads, then Brett Preble will come out of Barrier 2. A 2-time winner in this grade, drops from the 14 down to the 1,000 metres. Acturia drops from the 14 down to the 1,000 as well. First Beauty and Regency Honey get wide draws. Idyllic Wind, a 4-time course and distance winner, first up since March. Rich City Fortune and Rugby Diamond got speed. Carries to Win, runner-up last start, and down to Spicy Double. A change in the headgear. Cheek pieces off, blinkers go back on.
1,000-metre dash for Class 5s. Rugby Diamond, should he step? That's the big question. Should be able to lead these. He's got the claiming rider going on as well. First Butte led a recent trial for Keith Young, and he's got the outside barrier, so they may be the 2 that fight for it early. Rich City Fortune speedy enough. King Steed nearer the inside.
Showing characters having a second start back into Class 5. He's won twice in this grade before. He's only a little chap, this one, but he does enjoy Happy Valley, and he seems to be happy enough in his work there as he comes down. Here's Regency Honey. We just talked now. He's working with Brave Legend, who's the last start winner. Although Brave Legend was going slightly the better, he's a lot higher up in the classes than Regency Honey. So it still wasn't a bad piece from Regency Honey. And down the bottom, Spicy Double. He's getting right down the ratings. He's racing rated 20 now. I thought he was working okay, and I thought I'd highlight him because it got putting the blinkers back on him as well. So little bit of a significant gear change for him.
All right, bottom weight for him. Top weight, though, is Showing Character. Let's start with him. This is going back a couple of starts, 3 in actual fact, over the 12 at Sha-Tin.
He's won 2 races in his career, Andrew, both in this grade. He's only ever been 3rd or 4th over the course or distance from 10 goes. But when you line up the opposition of this race against the ones he's taking there on Wednesday night, he should be winning this race. But the short 1,000 metres is probably the factor that I think puts a little negative against his name. Look at the horses there. I mean, that's Mighty Maverick charging into 2nd or 3rd. He absolutely bolted up at his next start, Mighty Maverick. So that was a really good performance from Showing Character. If he brings that, he'll go pretty close, I would have thought.
Yeah, I don't mind him either, because I think Rugby Diamond is going to put all this pace into this race as well. So I think it's going to be a really swiftly run race. So I'll give him a chance over 1,000 on a fastly run race.
All right, that's Showing Character. This is Carry to Win, Peace on Earth and Rich City Fortune. We're looking, well, it's 2 starts back for Peace on Earth.
Yeah, no, Carry to Win is the one I've taken out of this because, again, with all this pace expected in the race, that's what he needs as well because it takes a while to find his feet. Peace on Earth has been going pretty consistently all season as well, and it wasn't a bad run from him. So they're probably the 2 main ones.
You could write a little script for a lot of these to sort of see why they could finish in the frame. Yeah. They're inconsistent, that's the problem. But I'm not against any of those runners we just looked at in that race.
All right, OK. Rugby Diamond we've mentioned already as far as a pace angle is concerned. This is him on the all-weather in front. He's finally come up with a good gate as well. Barrier 3 with Victor taking £10 off.
And Victor's had a little bit of experience on the horse. I think clearly they stick on a little bit better on the all-weather, but he is a horse that's won over this course and distance before. He's won twice in the grade. He's in the right class. Should he step? That's the key. He's got to step well. If he gets into rhythm and gets rolling, unpressured on the lead, does everything right in the first half and gets comfortable, the £10 claim will take him a fair way to the wire. Whether he reaches it in front's questionable, but he's got to get away.
He's definitely capable. It's one of those open, as we said, it's a $5.90 favourite at the moment.
$18 outsider.
Yeah. All right, so you've got 4 numbers, Paul. What are they?
Yep. I'll go with number 1 on top. Race 1, number 1, Showing Character. Look, I know he's better over 1,000, but he's won off a rating of 38. From barrier 2, he can maybe posse up a little bit closer. There's a lot of pace in the race. Carry to Win will be the one finishing off late. Actually, I don't mind him. He's coming back to Happy Valley. Prior to that, his last 2 starts been Sha-Tin and then a couple on the all-weather as well. An interesting booking here with Zach Purton jumping aboard him. So he's in for 3rd. And King Steed is another one that can run well over this 1,000 if he wants to. He's getting right down in the ratings as well. 1, 10, 3 and 11. QQPs, I think exotic's the way to go.
Yeah, you want to shop for a little bit of value here. I'm going to try and make a case for Paddington here. It's a case of how much can you bear with Paddington.
You're all full of it today. Beautiful.
The reason why is if you go back to his best 2 runs, which were suggesting that he could win a race in this class and maybe go into 4 and be competitive, it's been with no gear on, and they've stripped him back. Blinkers off, the earplugs have come off, the tongue tie is the only thing that remains. His best ever run was without a tongue tie as well. He'll sit in behind the pace. He's back to 1,000, which I think is the right trip. I'm going to take a chance. It's Class 5. You've got to take a little shy at the stumps at some value, I think, as opposed to a favourite. Rugby Diamond, if he jumps and leads, it'll be hard to run down. Showing Character and Peace on Earth have probably got the measure of most of them, should they find the line well, but, you know, obviously bigger weights. So 7-9-1-2. I'm going to play the 7-9-1-2 QQP. Play it wide. I think you can get something there.
There you go. All right, didn't make it in for me, Paddington, but the widespread of numbers. Actuate on top for me. He's a big price as well, $18 at the moment. In our first, right, 1 down, 7 to go. The second event comes up next.